A Congress member just made 40% returns in 1 month using information you don't have. And it's completely legal. Meanwhile, a 19-year-old with $30,000 believes that he can turn this to $1 million by 25. One of them is about to lose everything, and one of them has already won. Let me show you exactly what's happening. I'm about to expose 5 viral TikTok videos that reveal the game is actually rigged, but also how you can still win. And pay attention to the third video, because that's going to change the way you think about money forever. Starting with the Congress trading scandal that should be illegal but isn't. How do Congress members become worth $100 million on a salary of $174,000? This TikToker tracked one of them, and the findings are insane. Watch this.
All these members of Congress are worth millions of dollars on a salary of just $174,000. I'll give you a hint. It's not speaking fees. They do it by trading stocks. Let me give you an example. Back in November, I noticed that Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman bought shares in a company called Viasat. For those who don't know, Viasat is a satellite internet provider who also happens to do a ton of business with the US military. Now, the reason this stood out to me at the time is because Debbie Wasserman isn't just your average congresswoman. She just so happens to sit on the House Subcommittee on Military Construction. What this means is that she sits on closed-door meetings learning about all sorts of new military contract discussions that are completely closed off to the public. The fact that she bought shares in Viasat, a major defense contractor, while attending these meetings told me that maybe she knows something about Viasat that we don't. And sure enough, fast forward just 1 month later, NASA announced a $4.82 billion contract for low Earth orbit satellites, in which one of the companies awarded was, yep, you guessed it, Viasat. And since I made that post about Debbie buying Viasat in November, shares are up more than 40%. Now, I wish I could say that this was an isolated incident, but the truth is, this happens all the time. And it's the reason that until they outlaw trading in Congress, you should be tracking what they're buying and selling. Because maybe they know something that we don't. To track Congress trades and government contracts, check out QuiverQuant, where I track it all live.
Hold up, did you just catch what happened? Debbie Wasserman sits on the Military Construction Subcommittee. She attends closed-door meetings about military contracts we don't have access to. Then she buys Viasat stock, a defense contractor. And 1 month later, NASA awards Viasat a $4.82 billion contract. 40% gains in 1 month. And here's the part that should make you angry. That's legal, completely 100% legal. Do you know what would happen if a regular employee traded on insider information? Prison. Martha Stewart went to jail for this. And when I was at Deloitte, I had to make sure I reported every one of my holdings. But Congress, they exempted themselves. So here's what you need to understand. The game is rigged, but this is important. QuiverQuant tracks everything they buy and sell. Nancy Pelosi's husband's bought Nvidia right before the CHIPS Act. Paul Pelosi made millions. You can literally copy their trades. It's the closest thing to legal insider trading that you can get. Score for this TikTok, 10 out of 10. This information could actually make you money. Just make sure you're careful about it. And speaking of money, this next kid thinks he can turn $30,000 into $1 million in just 6 years. The expert's response is going to get hurt. 19 years old, $30,000 saved, no debt, wants $1 million by 25. This should be inspiring, right? Watch what happens when reality hits. Oh, what's up, George?
What would you do if you had $100K and you wanted to invest that and turn that into $1 million?
By when?
25.
You want to make $900,000 in 6 years on an investment?
Well, just a question.
I'm not angry. I'm just truly wondering. So what's the actual goal there of like, I want to have $1 million by 26?
So right now, I work for a company where I sell roofs through insurance companies, and I make pretty decently. I was wondering how can I start at my own type of situation, or that I can invest in other things and gain passive income from those with assets.
So this idea of passive income is actually a myth. It's so much harder than it looks, and almost nobody can actually achieve it. And so do you actually have $100,000?
I have about $30K right now.
Okay. And is that all the money to your name?
Liquid, yeah.
Do you have any debt?
No.
You are crushing it, my man. 19 years old with 30 grand, no debt. This is a great starting point. How much of that would you call a 6-month emergency fund? If you added what 1 month of expenses are times 6.
Yeah. That would probably be like 2-3K. I don't really spend much.
Okay. So let's call it 20K is your fully funded emergency fund. You've got 10K to play around with. And then do you have any investing options through your employer currently?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you're on your own for investing.
Yeah.
So the first place I would go is open a Roth IRA, and I would fully fund that. That's going to be about $6,500.
That's $7,000 in 2025 and also supposed to be the same in 2026, just for reference.
Okay.
So you could do that, and the end goal is start investing 15% of your income, because we still have other things we've got to do with our life. We've got to go on vacation. We got to upgrade the car. You want to be a homeowner one day?
Yeah, of course. No, I'm looking at that next year.
So then we got to save up a down payment. So we can't do everything all at once. And so I love 15% as a starting point because it allows us to focus on other goals, like saving up that down payment. So I love the goal of like, I want to be a millionaire one day. But the idea that I'm going to turn 100,000 into $1 million 6 years from now, that tells me you're more likely to lose it than you are to gain anything.
Yeah.
Because most of the strategies involved to turn money that quickly involve a lot of risk.
Okay, this hurts to watch because this kid is actually crushing it. 19 with $30,000, that's the top 1% for his age. But he asked the wrong question. He said turn 100K into $1 million, but he only has 30,000. And George called him out immediately. You want to make 900,000 in 6 years? Let me do the math for you. To turn $30,000 to $1 million in 6 years, you need 80% annual returns. Warren Buffett averages 20% annual returns. The best fund out there maybe averages 30%, and not for a long extended period of time. And here's what George said that everyone needs to hear. This tells me you're more likely to lose everything than gain. Because to get to 80% returns, you need to do a few things. 1, day trade, which 90% lose money. 2, options trading, 95% lose money. Or 3, crypto leverage, where 98% lose money. But here's what you should do. Emergency fund, $20,000, keep it safe. Roth IRA, $7,000, tax-free growth forever. Invest 15% of your income every single month. If he does that from 19 to 65, investing just $500 a month at 10% returns, he'll have $5.8 million, not by 25, but by retirement. And that's real and that's achievable. Score 9 out of 10. Best reality check on TikTok, none other than Mr. George. What if I told you the difference between investing and saving is even bigger than you thought? The next one has numbers that will literally change your life. 96,000 versus 1.25 million. Same person, same monthly amount, completely different strategies. This is the video schools should be required to show.
You'll never get rich if you keep saving money. Let me explain. If you save $200 per month in a normal bank account, after a year, you'd only have $2,400. However, if you invested the same amount at a 10% annual return, you'd have $2,500. After 40 years of saving, you'd only have $96,000. However, after 40 years of investing, you'd have over $1.25 million. So stop saving for your future. Start investing in it.
Stop everything. We need to talk about what just happened. $200 a month is the example. Saving in a bank for 40 years, $96,000. Investing at 10% for 40 years, $1.25 million. That's a $1.15 million difference. But here's what they didn't tell you. Banks give you 0.1% interest. Inflation is 3%. So they say. Probably 6. You're literally losing money by saving money. The $96,000 you saved, after inflation, it's worth about $30,000 in today's money. You lost 2/3 of your purchasing power. But invested, even after inflation, that's $1.25 million. That $1.25 million is worth $400,000 in today's money. Every month you're not investing, you're not just missing gains. You're actively getting poorer. Let me make this real for you. Start at 25, $1.25 million by 65. Start at 35, $440,000 by 65. Start at 45, $137,000 by age 65. Every year you wait cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Score 10 out of 10. This is the most important concept in finance. Now, someone who figured this out early became a millionaire by 26, but his advice might surprise you. Millionaire by 26, financially free by 30? He's about to give 3 tips, and one of them goes against everything you've been told. Listen to this.
I became a millionaire by age 26 and became financially free by age 30. These are 3 best tips that I can give you as a self-made multi-millionaire. Number 1, you have to live below your means and stop buying dumb shit. If you're not making over $500,000 a year, you shouldn't be driving a German car. Instead, you should be driving a Toyota or a Hyundai. Also, you shouldn't be wearing LVs, Gucci's or Dior's. Instead, you should be wearing like H&M or Zara. Number 2, you have to find a way to make money in your sleep. If you don't do that, you're going to have to work until you die. And the best way to create a passive income source is by investing in real estate. And no, nowadays you don't need that much capital to invest in real estate. You can start out by using a strategy called rental arbitrage. And lastly, number 3, become a contrarian. Stop following the crowd. A person who walks alone are usually the ones that go furthest in life.
Okay, let's break down these 3 rules. Rule number 1, stop buying dumb shit. He said if you don't make $500,000 a year, do not drive a German car. Drive a Toyota. You know what that BMW cost you over 5 years with maintenance and depreciation? $60,000. A Toyota, $15,000. That's $45,000 a year that you could have invested. At 10% returns over 20 years, that becomes $300,000. Your BMW literally cost you $300,000. Rule number 2, make money in your sleep. You rent a place long term, you furnish it, and you sublet it on Airbnb. But here's what he's really saying. Trading time for money has a ceiling. 24 hours in a day, that's it. Buy assets, they work 24/7. Stocks, real estate, businesses, they don't sleep. Rule number 3, become a contrarian. This is the one nobody wants to hear. When everyone's buying, you sell. When everyone's panicking, you buy. When everyone's following trends, you ignore. March 2020, everyone sold. The contrarians like myself who bought made 100% returns in 12 months. Score 8 out of 10. Hearth truths that actually work. All right, last one. And this actually might be the most practical. Someone helping their sister invest their first $1,000. This is exactly how beginners should start investing. $1,000, 5 positions, simple strategy, but they almost made one mistake.
I just helped my little sister invest her first $1,000 in the stock market. Here's what we bought. First, we put $300 in the ETF VOO. This spreads out her money across the top 500 companies in the US stock market. Next, we put $200 into QQQ. This is another ETF that tracks the NASDAQ 100. And third, we put $200 into SCHD. This is a high-paying dividend ETF that'll make her small, but passive income. Honestly, we could have been a little bit more riskier considering how young she is, but I want her to have a solid foundation of index funds and ETFs before I make her throw it all into Palantir. Then lastly, with the remaining $300, I told her to invest in something that's a little more high risk, high reward, like individual companies that she's familiar with. So she put $200 into Apple and $100 into Amazon.
No one taught me about money growing up, so I'm just trying to be the mentor that I wish I had. So follow if you want to learn all the money things that school should have taught you.
This is what good financial mentorship looks like. Proud of you, Angelo. Let's break down this portfolio. $300 in VU, that's the S&P 500. Instant diversification across the largest 500 US companies. Smart. $200 in QQQ, tech growth exposure. Higher risk, higher reward. For a younger person, perfect. $200 in SCHD, dividend ETF. She'll get paid quarterly, but I don't love it for a young person. That's $700 in ETFs. Diversified, low cost, simple, and beautiful. Then $200 in Apple and $100 in Amazon. They said before I throw it all into Palantir. That's actually funny because Palantir is up 300% when I'm filming this. But here's what I love most. No one taught me about money growing up, so I'm trying to be the mentor I wish I had. That hits different. If every parent taught this, we'd have generation of millionaires. If every older sibling did this, we'd have so many more rich children. Score 9 out of 10. This is exactly how you start. 5 TikToks, 5 completely different strategies, but here's the pattern I see. The Congress members, they're playing with insider information. The 19-year-old, he's playing with unrealistic expectations. The saver, they're playing the losing game. The millionaire, he played the long game and he won. The sister, she's starting the game out right. So here's what you actually need to know. 1, the system is rigged. Congress trades on information we don't have, but you can track them. 2, getting rich quick is a fantasy that will make you poor. Getting wealthy slowly is a strategy that actually works. 3, every month that you save instead of investing, you're losing money. You lose money to inflation and lose money to miscompound growth. 4, living below your means is not a sacrifice. It's about buying freedom instead of stuff. 5, the best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. But here's my question for you. After seeing all of this, what's your excuse for not investing? Be honest in the comments, no judgment. I want to know what's actually stopping you because next week, I'm going to show you how I found the next stock that Congress is about to jump on, and I may buy it. Subscribe if you want to see that portfolio. And remember, while you're watching TikToks about getting rich, Congress is actually doing it. Maybe it's time you stopped and started copying. Peace.